Okay, Iron Cross, man-to-man combat, East Front. We finished up the German player turn, so we went on to the Russian player turn. Still game turn 1. Phase 1 is the morale phase. Generally, you're going to reveal hidden units, which obviously I'm not. Well, I wonder if I should have played hidden units. Well, I didn't play hidden units, but I mean, I guess I could have played hidden units just to show how it's done, but I didn't think about that. Didn't do it. And I think one side, I think the Soviets get a number of hidden units, if I remember correct. Well, actually, let's see the. Yeah, Soviets are allowed 3 hidden hexes. Oh well, didn't do that. Also in the morale phase, you're going to recover pinned and attempt to recover suppressed units, and you're going to select machine gun modes. I think you do things in that order. Yeah, okay. So I did double check my machine gun modes. We got the Soviet machine gun here, medium machine gun. It is in direct fire mode, which is what I want. I think that's a good kind of default mode for the defense. And then here, went ahead and double checked that the German medium machine gun is on spray fire, which I think is a good general default mode for the attack. Maybe they will switch their mode once they figured out where the enemy is, and of course the Soviets could change theirs probably to either spray fire mode or fire lane once they figured out where a lot of the attacking Germans are. Okay, I think those are all that's an ATR. This is an AT gun. AT gun. I think those are the machine guns. Okay, so that's morale phase. Phase 1 done. So then we go on to the second phase. Second phase is the support fire phase. That's the Russian support fire phase. Here we are going to where is it again? We are going to here it is. The phasing player may attempt to fire any of his normal status units, and mortar attacks are resolved before any other type of fire. So I thought I would go ahead and try some mortar fire. So the rest of this video is going to be about this mortar fire from the Soviet mortar here. What's important here is it has, I know the numbers are hard to see, it's got an 8 for AP firepower, 8, 1 for 1 is for the assault rating, and 9 is important. 9 is the performance rating of the I guess you could say the team. So that's and it's also important that they're in the up state, or up status, whatever status, I guess. All right. So this is what's important. We're going to determine what we declare. Okay, first declare the number of actually, I'm not sure what order to do this in exactly, but yeah, I'm not sure. But seems announce attack, right? So the Soviet mortar is going to try to fire this hex right here, up here on hill Lima. This hex on top of the hill. And what's important is it is a level 1 hill hex. It has 1 tree in it, although interestingly the mortar fire, it makes sense, but mortar fire is going to ignore that tree. But there is a tree in the hex, and in the hex are 2 German riflemen in down status. So what I did first is I put the target hex counter on that target hex. Then we determined line of sight, and it goes straight across there like that. Now what's important in stringing line of sight, which line of sight is good, but what's important to consider is right here. This adjacent hex has 2 trees in it, and I believe it actually, let me make sure I know what I'm talking about. Never mind. Well, never mind about blocking line of sight. But what's important is this hex is actually level 0 because it has a little bit of level 0 terrain art in it. So in other words, this, even though it is a hill hex in appearance, it's really level 0. And so the trees come up to level 1, which doesn't, well, I should say the trees are at level 1. I'll just leave it at that. In any case, it doesn't block, because this is level 1 hill hex across to level 1 hill hex, and when I string the line of sight, there is nothing that that blocks it. Now obviously in this case, the only thing that could block it would be if there was a level 1 hex. Wait, if there was a level 1 hex that also had a level 1 obstruction on it, or if there was a level 2 hex in between, but there's not. Okay, line of sight is good. So then we go to attempt to observe. Okay, that's funny, I didn't do observation. Never mind. I'm not sure if I do observation for mortars, but set that aside. Go on to a PC check, performance check. So remember I said that the team has a performance rating of 9 on this side in the up status. It's different for down status. So I rolled a 6. So they passed their PC check, so they're good to fire. Then I went to the firepower. Wait. Next is 3 here. So I have to determine, I can fire up to 5 rounds, but I declare number of rounds to be fired at the target hex. So I chose to do 3. So I just set that aside to remind me that he's going to fire 3 rounds. Actually, each round is going to be determined separately. Then, 4 is the scatter. So the first round, I roll a 4. Now there are several modifiers that apply, but none of them actually apply in this case. So it is a 4. There's a table. There's a mortar scatter table here. So a 4 or a 5 is a scatter 1, which is going to scatter 1 hex. So I roll another 6-sided die, and I use the scatter diagram on the map and find that the round actually scatters to the south west 1 hex like that, which I do here, which means I do think it hits there, no effect. So that's just the first round. I think I'm going to do that again for each round. I think this goes back to the original. I think each round is separate. So 4 again. So then I got to see if it's which direction it's scattered. Ooh, it's a 6. Oh, that means it scatters off in this direction, which is nothing as well. Then we go to the third round. Third round is a 4 too. Scatter 1 and 1. Okay, scatters this way. Wow. So bottom line is 3 rounds trying to hit this hex. First round scattered here with no effect. Second round scattered here with no effect. And the third round scattered here with no effect. So I do think that's mortar fire. So my scatter, if I had hit the target, I would not have counted the tree that's in the target hex that I mentioned early on. Would not count that because it's mortar fire. Rounds coming in on top. Basically, there is no linear protection.